stand. Pledge allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
As you can see, the mayor's under the weather tonight, and I'll be trying to take his place for the evening. Call this meeting to order, and I'll ask the clerk to call the roll.
Adams.
Here.
Bartlett. Here. Cook.
Here.
Hopkins. Odenettle.
Here.
Scott.
Here.
Wankel.
Here.
Wormowski. Williams. City Attorney Beard.
Here.
You have a quorum.
At this point, it would be proper to have a motion to have Don serve as mayor pro tem.
I so move.
And a second? And a voice vote is fine for that. All those in favor?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any other
Opposed?
volunteers?
Opposed?
Okay, you're on.
All right, all right. Okay, the first item is the reading of the minutes. Have a motion to accept the minutes. Motion by Alderman Scott, second by Alderman Bartlett. All those in favor of accepting the minutes as they're written, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Presentation of petitions.
We have none.
Communications.
No communications.
Claims are in the hands of the alderman.
Motion.
Need a motion to approve the claims. Motion by Aaron Williams, second by Large Odenettle. Okay.
All those in favor? Voice vote.
Voice vote. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, under the city attorney's report.
Thank you. One item, the resolution authorizing the renewal of the lease agreement with Route Catholic High School for the Nichols Park Ball Diamond.
Need a motion? Alderman Scott, second by Alderman Large Odenettle.
Be it resolved that the City Council does hereby renew and extend the lease agreement between the city and Route Catholic High School for the Nichols Park Ball Diamond for an additional 4-year term and a 4-year extension thereafter.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Yeah.
I'll ask clerk to call the roll.
Adams.
Yes.
Bartlett.
Yes.
Cook.
Yes.
Odenettle.
Yes.
Scott.
Yes.
Wankel.
Yes.
Wormowski.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Motion carried.
City clerk's report.
You received the items in the email with regard to the community development report, cash receipts report, the budget report, and the revenue analysis report. Any questions on any of those, you can stop by and we'll go over your questions.
Okay, at this time, we'll entertain any public comment. Seeing none, we'll move on to the consent agenda. Finance, IT, and personnel have 2 items tonight. The first is the resolution authorizing payment from the Capital Improvement Fund for certain improvement projects. Number 2 is a resolution authorizing payments from the general fund for services rendered. Parks and Lakes.
We have 2 items this evening. Resolution approving the application for the IDNR Boat Access Grant. And number 2, resolution approving the application for the OSLOD IDNR grant for the Nichols Park Pool.
Planning and Public Works.
We have 1 item, resolution authorizing professional services agreement with Hutchison Engineering regarding construction of new roadways for the expansion of Diamond Grove Cemetery.
And Utility.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
One item tonight, resolution authorizing payments from Waterworks and Sewerage Project Fund for services rendered, improvement projects, and I so move.
Is there a second? Alderman Scott? Any items that what you want removed for other consideration?
Yeah, could you please pull the 2 items under Parks and Lakes for further discussion?
Okay. I'll ask the clerk to call the roll.
Bartlett,
Yes.
Cook,
Yes.
Odenettle,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Wankel,
Yes.
Wormowski,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Adams.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay. Under the committee reports, we have 2 items under Parks and Lakes.
Thank you. Number 1, resolution approving the application for the IDNR boat access grant.
Have a motion? Lori and Bartlett? Okay.
Be it resolved, the City Council does hereby authorize the preparation and submission of the Illinois Department of Natural Resources grant application.
Any discussion? Alderman Wormowski.
I just want to pass on some commentary I saw on Facebook about the issue, that some people were not sure about what the money was going for, and they were kind of worried that it was city money, but just want to make sure that everyone knows that, as far as I know, this is going to be 100% state grant to pay for this. And Kelly, Adam, do you know anything about like the origin of the grant money or anything like
Jim's
that?
there.
Actually, Jim does.
Jim Burke with Hutchison Engineering. We're completing that grant application for the boat access grant. It's to be located exactly where the ag ramp is at now. The funding is $200,000. It's 100%. The city would be responsible for the shortfall. Our current estimate is $276,000, which would include the ramp, some sidewalk, paved parking area, some lightings, and ADA floating docks.
So the total cost is 276?
276.
So we'd be paying $76,000 for this?
Yep, if you're awarded it, because it's limited to $200,000.
How many years is that over?
It's a reimbursement. You'll front the money, and then once you're completed with the project, you're reimbursed the 200.
I thought the last meeting we talked about it was going to be 100% paid with the federal or with the state grant.
It is up to 200. I mean, they pay 100% up to 200, a maximum of 200,000.
I didn't know it was going to be an extra 76,000.
You don't have to do the parking lot, and that's something that I discussed with Kelly too.
Is that something that we could determine at a later date then, the parking lot?
Probably not at this point, since you're committing to the degree of which we complete the parking lot is up for discussion. But you receive part of your scoring is based on your match and how much you're willing to contribute to the overall cost of the project. And this will allow you to score, I think, the highest as well. Pretty close, if I'm not mistaken.
And I know Steve brought up a good question at the last meeting. You know, what type of surface would the parking lot be?
Hot mix asphalt.
It will be asphalt. And I know he's concerned about runoff. So how would that be addressed?
The city currently doesn't have a detention ordinance, but we would make accommodation for it. They're going to be moving the access for the kayak and canoe. Kelly and I talked briefly about that we may try to do something away from the site to control runoff.
Yeah, so my comment on that was that we just did the Movistair watershed study, and one of the things that we talked about was we should be setting a good example for the best thing we could do in the watershed. So anything we do with retention or detention would be good, like a permeable surface or
Well, the
something.
volume of water that you'll be running off would be a little more than what it is right now, but it would be cleaner runoff because it'd be paved compared to dirt. So your silt discharge, your silt load into the lake would be less.
How many parking spaces is that? And we haven't seen it.
We had a preliminary list. I think we had 10 to 12 boat, and then we had another 20, I think, public parking, if I remember correctly.
It's big. It's large.
It's large. It's about halfway down, be from the current boat access ramp down about halfway towards the entrance road off of Vandalia, a little less maybe.
So the other comment I made at the last meeting, just to reiterate it, is that it's really nice to have access for, or additional access for people with like bass boats and big boats that wouldn't be able to use Lake Jacksonville during the winter and stuff like that. But I think there's been a lot of call in the community for just paddle boats or canoes or kayaks or something like that.
The
So-
current facility that you have is what is used for access by kayak and canoe. Kelly had indicated that they were working on plans currently, if you receive the grant, to put the concrete launch where this one would be at, build a kayak and canoe access to the west end of that very parking lot I'm talking about, away from this site. So I think the plan was to still provide them access.
So you're talking about access, but I was talking about, the city actually trying to do something to provide rentals, so something beyond the
Oh, I
grant.
see what you're saying.
Yeah. So, I mean, you could throw a kayak in pretty much anywhere, so it's nice to have pay, but you don't have to have it, so.
Okay, any further discussion? Ask the clerk to call the roll.
Cook.
Yes.
Bodell.
Yes.
Scott.
Yes.
Walker.
Yes.
Orlowski.
Yes.
Williams. Yes. Adams.
Yes.
Barton. Yes. Motion passed.
Number 2, resolution approving the application for the Oslot IDNR grant from Nichols Park Pool.
Do you have a second on that? Alderman Scott?
Be resolved by the City Council that it hereby authorizes the preparation and submission of the Illinois Department of Natural Resources grant application for the Nichols Park Pool.
Discussion?
Yeah, I guess I never really heard anything since the last meeting. So the work that we're doing with this project is kind of predicated on what Water's Edge did on the preliminary study for the pool. We only paid them half of the $10,000 that we promised them to do the study. They completed the preliminary study, they did some additional work, they did some core samples out at the pool that wasn't in the original proposal. So just wanted to see what was going on with paying them the back half of the money we owed them.
We have never been invoiced for that payment, so therefore we don't pay it.
Okay, but we're totally open,
We're not, we're responsible for whatever they invoice us,
okay. But the initial resolution, I think, was for $10,000.
up
run-
to $10,000.
Okay, so it's just a question of having them invoice us?
If they've done the work that they've said to do for the $10,000.
If they invoice you, then you can review that invoice and determine whether that work's been done.
Yeah, the only thing that hasn't been done was a public input session, but I don't think from discussion with Kelly Hall that there's no interest in doing that right now, so. But they, like I said, they did the coring samples, which wasn't in the original scope of work, so. Yeah, I guess, can someone contact them from the city and say, bill us, or?
Kelly's office, Parks and Lakes.
Yeah, that was the reason I pulled this out, because I'm just a little concerned that, we did a national search to find the firm to do the study, then it didn't get complete, and then we're going on with the project without the study being complete, so that's what I'm trying to
Pass that
figure
on
out.
to Kelly's. Any further discussion?
I had mentioned something to the effect of having an area on, in addition to the Nichols Park pool, where people that don't want to swim can hang out with their grandkids or kids or whoever, because there was a lot of disability people in my building in wheelchairs or walkers that didn't want to sign the pool contract because they're not going to go swimming. So if there's anything to include more people in it, handicap accessible, I know the zero entry was part of the pool, and that's great, but anything else that would just help bring more people out, I would like to see.
I don't think this is, do you know if zero entry was part of what we're doing for the maintenance?
It's not just maintenance, it's improvements, but zero depth entry is a big part of what's being proposed. And as Alderman Adams indicated, some sort of a spray park area or spray features could be done elsewhere, as well as at this location, but at this time, it's not included in this grant application. One thing I would remind the City Council is that the OSLAD program doesn't support improvements at multiple sites. it needs you to focus. But certainly, it appears that the state of Illinois has actually put in place funding so that this is going to be an annual opportunity. You'll have 2 years to spend the monies that you receive if you do receive a grant. So you would be able to consider other improvements related to aquatic or other parks improvements under the OSLAD program at some point in the future.
And I guess one thing we could do in the future is look at Minibar Park. That would be a good place to have some sort of splash pad or some sort of feature. I think having something like South Jacksonville has would use too much water, but there's something like a more in between, like a smaller facility we could do out there. That would be nice for people in that section of town because they have to drive so far to get to Nichols Park, so.
Any further discussion? Can I ask the clerk to call the roll?
Good. Odenental.
Yes.
Scott.
Yes.
Wankel.
Yes.
Wormowski.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Adams.
Yes.
Bartlett.
Yes.
Cook.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, any old business? New business?
I don't know that it's necessarily new business. I just, I know a lot of people had have had interest in the pool, and I just want to thank all of you for your phone calls, for talking to Kelly, reaching out to Benton and Associates, just getting your questions answered and getting involved, and for getting signatures and circulating the petition online. It's really going to help support the grant application. It's not due until the 19th, so we're still looking for letters of support and additional signatures. So if you have those signature pages, and if you could drop them off to Carla, or if you need extra pages, let me know. And then I'll swing by and pick those up and make sure that Benton gets them to make sure they're included in the application. But I just wanted to say thank you.
Thank you for what you're doing. Okay, nothing else? I'll entertain a motion for adjournment. Large.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second? Brandon Adams. Okay, we are adjourned.